Shalom. Welcome to this week's Dvar Torah on Sedra Shemini. Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Bill Clinton, all presidents who committed grievous errors in office. Their sins were different in nature, amount, and character. But as each recorded their guilt, a cry arose as to how the office of the president was stained. Yet today we experience a very strong presidency, alive and vibrant with the power that it was intended to have. Not every error made by an individual stains the office that the individual holds. In this Dvar Torah, I like to differentiate between the institution and the individual. I'll explain how the two are separate and shouldn't be confused. To prove my points, I'll bring up the sin, the death, and the removal of Nadav and Avihu. Rashi has a telling comment about the state of Nadav and Avihu's body that will help at our quest. I hope the reader gains an appreciation for the institutions that lead us and see their infallible quality. Every institution is created for a purpose. If the institution is sacred by nature, it is protected, guarded, and held dear by many an individual. All institutions have personal aspects, as it takes individuals to carry out the mission of this institution. An individual can be misguided and set the course of the institution astray, but the mission of the institution always stays true. The problem arises when people confuse the individual with the institution. This is particularly true when the leader of an institution errs. Whether egregious or grievous, the error belongs to the individual or individuals and is not caused by the institution. Therefore, the error should not be assigned to the institution, which stays guilt-free. But it should be blamed on the individual. The institution, with its pristine mission, should be encouraged to grow and to succeed. Our Sedra discusses the offerings of the Mishkan, the tabernacle inauguration ceremony. Two of Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, give an offering that wasn't part of the ceremony. For their indiscretion, they incurred divine wrath and die. Hashem records that Moshe called for the removal of their bodies, and they carried them in their tunics to beyond the encampment, the pasuk says. Rashi explains that the Torah listed that they wore their tunics to teach that their clothes were not burnt, but only their souls. While we learn that their clothes weren't burnt, this couldn't be the reason why Hashem listed that they were carried out in their tunics. Rather, the point of the pasuk is to teach us about the clothes of the Kohanim. The clothes of the Kohanim were special, they were unique, and only the Kohanim could wear them. In making the point that the Kohanim's clothes were not burnt, Hashem is pointing out that the priesthood continues, even though two of its torchbearers disgraced its uniqueness. Leaders will err. They will make grievous mistakes, but that doesn't stain the institution that they represent. The souls of Nadav and Avihu were burnt in sin, but their clothes, and all that their clothes represented, the kahuna, the priesthood, continued. The lesson applies all too often today. Due to the sin of individuals, people are all too quick to write off the institution they represent. It's a grievous mistake, and one that must be avoided. Shalom.